Assalamu alaikum, Varahmatullah, dear religious brothers and sisters. Some say we live in a horrible world. There is so much that hurts people here. Earthquakes, fires, atrocities against the innocent, trauma to a small child, illness, death of loved ones. Yes, we live in the midst of these realities. But why does God, who is so merciful, allow these terrible things? Why doesn't someone so powerful and merciful stop the evil in the world? This is a question that we have always faced in different ways at different times, and today we wanted to make it rational and logical with clear answers. So let's first ask the question, are these things really bad or flawed? Or could there be different perspectives that we cannot see? How do we know if something is defective or not, from the purpose for which it was made? If it cannot fulfill the purpose of its existence, it is defective. For example, if a camera does not take pictures, we can say that yes, it is defective, but we do not complain that the camera does not write, because this is not its task. Then, when we look at the universe in general, we need to know the purpose of creation before we can call the events we experience defects. In fact, we learn these names through the contrasts that exist in the world. For example, we recognize the feeling of satiety by tasting the feeling of hunger. We learn the feeling of light thanks to the darkness. If there were no diseases, no one would know what health is, and we find the opportunity to read the names of Allah in these contrasts. If there was a system in the world where we could not understand the name of Shafi, the name of Rezak, then the real flaw would be then because it would not be suitable for the purpose of creation. It reminds us of the realities that you cannot feel at normal times. Thanks to the earthquake, you realize that you live comfortably every day without being shaken, and you have the opportunity to be grateful for it. In this case, we cannot even call the earthquake a flaw. Let's all accept that we really cannot appreciate some things without losing them, unfortunately. In the meantime, let's not forget that the things we have mentioned, such as illness, trials, difficulties, disasters, etc., occupy only 1% of the space in our world. We can understand this when we compare the times when there was an earthquake and the times when there was not, the diseases we survived and the diseases you caught, the people who continue to live during the day and the people who die. I think we understand a little bit that the things we think are bad should actually be in our world for justifiable reasons. Now let's come to the question of why these things we see as evil exist in the world. For example, the devil, because of him, people go down wrong paths and even end up in hell. Why doesn't God prevent such a person? Isn't the creation of Satan and the spread of all evil in the world with him a cruel decision for human beings? Master Bediüzzaman makes the following statement on this subject. The creation of evil is not evil. The choice of evil is evil. For example, fire is one of the most important discoveries when we look at the present day. Thanks to fire, you can meet your most basic needs such as heating and food, but at the same time you can cause a big forest fire with fire. In this case, we can't hold the person who discovered the fire responsible for the fire, so what we call evil is not about the producer, but about the user. So can we say that the creation of evil is evil? I don't think we can say that either. Yes, many people go to hell because of him, but maybe that was not the Creator's intention. Maybe it was the result of our choices. It doesn't make sense to completely disable the will of man and hold God responsible for all this. Because God has given man a will, he has taught him right and wrong and left the choice to him. So it is man himself who is responsible for the consequences. And sometimes we come across mindsets that want to exonerate themselves by saying, "This is my destiny." This problem stems from misunderstanding the definition of destiny. Destiny is not Allah writing a script and us playing it. It is Allah knowing our decisions, the paths we will take, the choices we will make, everything about the past, the future, and the present. So man cannot bypass deservingness and hold Allah responsible for his own choices, since almost all the evil in the world is caused by the will of man. So what is Allah's purpose in allowing all these evils? In order to understand this, First, we need to understand the position of man in the world. We have come to this world to develop. We are here to bring out the potential that God has given us and to raise it up. For example, angels, as you know, are constantly worshiping, right? So why don't they rise in rank even though they are constantly worshiping? Because they are not in any kind of struggle. So what is it that raises one's rank? Struggle. In other words, the first condition for advancement and development is struggle. Diseases, calamities, persecutions, trials, Satan, the naefs, these are all things that actually raise us up, not bring us down. The most important reason why Allah allows all these things is that we are in a test field. Yes, indeed, we are all in an important test. In the test, there are right choices and wrong choices together, and everyone answers the questions according to their own capacity. No one can intervene at the time of the test. If there were no wrong choices, it would not be a test, and those who work and those who do not work would not be distinguished. If at the time of the exam, when a mistake is made, there is intervention and prevention, then it would be a great injustice. When we look at the existing order in the world, we see that the best system that should be in place has been established by Allah. Through the Quran and the Sunnah, Allah teaches all the right and wrong things, tells people what to do and what not to do. He gives warnings in many places, but He does not take away the will. He always prevents people when they intend to do evil. Imagine if evil spirits and good spirits were on the same level. That would be the greatest injustice to human beings. What is the crime of the innocent? Will the atrocities done to them go unrequited? Some trials have to come to society at large. If nothing bad ever happened to Muslims, everyone would be Muslims, and that would again take away the mystery of the test. Therefore, in a mixed way, the innocents should also have their share of these hardships. We can see these hardships as a test to be patient and learn from. As sad as it is, we need to look at these hardships only from a worldly perspective. We need to think equally about the gains of the world and the hereafter. First of all, we should have no doubts about Allah's justice. We should have full confidence in Him in all circumstances. It is difficult to fully realize this justice in this world. It is in the hereafter that it will be fully realized. All the troubles experienced will cause the sins to be erased as long as you are patient. People who we see as having lost happiness, peace, and comfort in various atrocities in the world may be preparing for an eternal happiness. We don't get so upset about the sad events in the middle of a movie where you know the end is beautiful, do we? Because we know the facts. We don't interpret them in a narrow view. We don't rebel. We don't say, why are these things happening? In the same way, we can look at the troubles of innocent people from a different perspective by thinking in an eternal focus. Let's also emphasize that the oppressors will not go unpunished. The punishment for some crimes is unfortunately too great to be rewarded in this world. Allah sees and records it all. He leaves it all to a great court. Small cases are resolved in small courts. Big cases are resolved in big courts. The day that great court comes will be the day when the oppressors will tremble with fear. Those who seem to have lost in this world will be the winners of eternity. And all the hardships experienced at that moment will be forgotten. Let's take another look at all the things we see as evil in the world we live in now. Read the messages they want to give us, learn the lessons we need to learn, and make logical explanations for why these things happen. Do not doubt Allah's power, His mercy, and His justice. There will come a day when no one will be left in the wrong, and until that day comes, try not to stray from the truth. May Allah be with us in both hardship and beauty. Dear brothers and sisters, we have opened this channel to explain our religion Islam as much as possible. Some of you who are watching may already know what I'm going to tell you, but may have forgotten it in the distraction of the world, and some of you may not know it at all and will learn it through us. My request to Allah is this. I hope that this channel will be a beacon of hope and a reason to stand up again for many of our brothers and sisters who are stuck in the swamp of the world. If you like our channel, if we were able to teach you something, please like and comment so that it reaches more people. By liking and commenting, you become a partner in this good deed. Assalamu alaikum.